8 reversibles. Outbound, just a little bit of a backup on the west end, so just 10 to the junction, 22 to the airport. Ike inbound, 36 Thorndale to 28 for the Tri-State Inn. The Dan Ryan inbound, the travel time pretty elevated right now from the Merchant 71st.
When you see news happen, call the WBBM News tip hotline. It's 1-800-784-NEWS, 1-800-784-NEWS. WBBM News Time, 6:36.
So it's about 7 o'clock here on a very cold Friday morning, and I'm one of the first group of reporters out here in DeKalb, Illinois, on the NIU campus. The morning anchors are just starting their broadcasts for the morning news. The next stop is to get in touch with some students. I'm heading down to the offices of the Northern Star, the campus newspaper. I'm going to see how they're covering their story while at the same time being students in mourning. They have to pull double duty for the next couple of days, weeks, and months. I'm going to see how they're dealing with it.
Along the way, so...
It's a little after 8, and as you can see, it's completely empty right now, but I have been assured that it's going to get extremely busy, to say the least. What's happening now?
It's a good start to the day so far.
So how many hours of sleep did you get?
Last night, none. Our job now is to kind of try and make sense of it, both as students, but also for the people who are going to be reading, what we write.
What's tougher, being a journalist now or being a student?
I'd say trying to be both at the same time, because as a student, you want to feel a lot of emotion. Like an away team came in and beat you at home, to use sort of an analogy. So you want to feel all this emotion, but at the same time you have to keep it in check to be able to provide balanced coverage. Definitely good on-the-job training, right. if there ever was.
Here's an update on what we know. 7 people are dead, including the gunman. 15 people wounded.
I was just watching CNN, and they are still reporting they do not know the identity of the shooter. And here we are at the student newspaper. They've known the identity of the shooter for the past half hour, and that kind of just shows where the flow of information is. It's all coming in here first, even before CNN.
I wonder if they're going to have names of people.
They named 4 already, and 4 victims named.
But not necessarily victims who died. It happened in Cole Hall. It's about 400 yards that way. It's about 2 buildings worth over there and across the street. And it's over there by a fountain. And right now, we're coming in Alkeld, which is where the president's and top administrators' offices are, where they're holding a press conference.
How'd you get that?
So this is your guys' paper?
Yep.
Sorry about that.
Yesterday, after it happened, I was amazed at our paper. I mean, we had 35, 40 people who went to the newsroom before anywhere else once they knew what happened. It was the most encouraging thing of the entire day. Our entertainment editor and an entertainment writer at the hospital, they wrote one of our better stories. We had our sports editor was here. He was writing a story about President Peter's response. Our positions didn't matter last night. I was in the professor's office next door talking to him about a test I took last week, and his office mate came in and shut the door and said she heard there was shooting going on next door. That's when I got my notepad, and my professor actually was really neat. He didn't say anything. He just hands me a pen, and then I went out to talk to every person I could see on the street, and that's when I saw 8 other people from our paper who were doing the same thing.
Is that your first cup of coffee today?
Yeah, yes it is. Usually I make my own coffee, but Starbucks is particularly strong.
All-Star administration team.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for your patience.
We were dealing with a disturbed individual who intended to do harm on this campus. We did everything we could to ensure the safety of this university, and we're going to continue in that vein.
Fact is, we had one individual who obviously had some problems. They came to our campus and actually engaged in a serious act of violence. Actually, there were no red flags. He was an outstanding student. He was an awarded student. He was someone that was revered by the faculty and staff and students alike. No, I'm suggesting that with those that he had communication with, that those people revered him and felt that he was a very good student.
Chief Grady could potentially get angry here soon. He's a very bold guy.
We have nothing to support that at this time, and that's not something we're prepared to in any conjecture.
Ask real questions.
What did she ask?
She asked him something about Valentine's.
Actually, I'm not prepared to discuss whether he's taking his medication for it. Only said he was taking it.
Peter's. She's registered. Oh, what? How do you know that?
John, or Jim just forwarded me that.
It's important to note that the shooter was not prohibited in any way from purchasing firearms, and as far as we know, it was a lawful purchase. There was a Remington 12 gauge, there was a Glock 9mm pistol.
That's good. All right. Well, I may meet you guys.
Did you guys get anything out of the press conference?
I was a little upset to find out, the biggest news item of the day, they should have announced at the beginning, was the miscommunication with the death.
7 people are dead, including the gunman. 15 people wounded, several are...
Well, earlier today it was reported that one of the victims, the death toll had risen to 7, including the shooter, and one of the victims had died overnight at a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently that wasn't true. It was a miscommunication between the hospitals.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so there was the death toll has not risen. It was only right now it's only at 6, including the shooter.
You seem to enjoy the press conference at some points. You're kind of smiling and stuff. What was being said that kind of caught your attention?
I'm just familiar with how NIU sort of conducts things like that around here. So it's just entertaining to see. It's just because I've been around here so long that I notice things like that. Northern Star, this is Justin.
I'm at the Star.
So what are you working on now?
Eventually, or most likely, we'll probably have in one of our next issues, we'll have a kind of a profile about the victims.
So you're getting some help from Facebook then?
So a few of them, their profiles are private, so I can't really check it out yet.
What?
Is that story ready to go?
I already checked it in.
Okay.
It's a really short brief.
No, the one you were editing.
Yeah, that was ready to go.
I'm sorry, that's fine.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just way behind right now.
Okay. MSNBC wants information to make a 3D graphic, I guess.
Yeah, everybody wants that.
Yeah, where would I get that from?
We don't have like floor plans or anything. I don't know
Yeah,
where
I don't
you
understand
get
how
that.
I don't know.
There's just not enough people.
Okay, well, you know what? Show me what you're doing, and then I can do it.
I got an interview with a guy who knows the shooter apparently that I need to give out to somebody. He doesn't want to be on record though. He wants to be anonymous.
Okay, but if you need someone to do the interview, I can do it.
Okay.
So what's next for you at the paper here?
It's a press conference at the hospital, I believe, at 11. Yeah, I mean, just kind of doing all that we can, make sure we get another issue out. And really, it's also not only the issue, it's also updating our website, because a lot of students have gone home, so they're not going to be able to see the actual paper. So, but they're going to be checking the website.
Sorry. I'm at the Star.
Maybe we can provide closure. Maybe we can memorialize. Maybe we can send a message of how important it is to stay together right now as a family at NIU. But I guess we're figuring that out as we go.